Right, we want to see what the president had to say about lifestyle audits. This was where, I think last week in Mombasa. We'll just play you that clip, then we can comment a bit on it.
Sasa mambo ya siasa tumefikisha kikomo. Kazi ambayo sasa kwenda mbele tutafanya ni kazi ya kushughulikia mahitaji ya wananchi wa Kenya.
Watu wa Mlima Kenya, sisi tunasema ni kazi tu, ni kufanya kazi, lakini tuwajua safari ya kesho hupangwa leo.
The days of dynasty are gone. We want to have leaders who are self-made. Si ni namna hiyo? Tutachagua mtu kwa sababu ni mtoto wa fulani ama ni ndugu ya fulani.
Hii siasa si ya monarchy. Eti ukiamka asubuhi inaenda kwa huyu, jioni kwa huyu, kesho kwa huyu. Hapana. Hata sisi maskini tutazaa kiongozi wetu maskini 2022 William Samoei Arap Ruto.
Hatutaki mtu kila siku kubweka juu ya mambo ya 2022. Tumetoka uchaguzi jana. Sisi tunasema bado tuko na muda ya mrefu ya zaidi ya kuleta marekebisho. Lakini wakati huu wacha kurandaranda hapa na pale, kutangatanga ati wewe unasema mimi ndiye nitakuwa rais mwaka 2022. Unajuaje? Si Wakenya ndio watachagua rais yao? Alafu unabwaga pesa hapa, unabwaga pesa hapa. Mshahara yako tunajua.
Na ule wa kwanza kufanyiwa lifestyle audit ni mimi, kwa sababu mimi ndio mfanyikazi number 1. Si ndio hiyo? Yes. Mimi, alafu tuende kwa huyu.
All right. So the question is that, yes, lifestyle audit, this is not the first pronouncement we've had from this administration. We've had when they're actually taking over, the regime in 2013. Also, they gave promissory notes that we're going to have a lifestyle audit, beginning with them, of course, the president and the deputy president, and of course, also the public servants as well. Do we have any legal framework on how this also will try to be meted out? Because people will be rushing to courts with injunctions and saying, oh, there's no legal framework for this at all. And will we be batting our heads again on the wall? And then this exercise will just step it off and we'll forget about it. We talked about lifestyle audits, austerity measures when we had a bloated, and we still have a very bloated wage bill. But still, there is no discernible difference that has come out of this particular talk. Is it just purely rhetoric that we're hearing from the president? Let's begin with you, Jacob.
I think Kenya is in good space. I think on the rhetoric, I give President Kenyatta 10 out of 10. The rhetoric is good. He's pulling a Magufuli. The action is what we need to see. You know, these thieves are known, Debarl. The thieves are known. When you see politicians saying, a politician, a young one, we just came from the media the other day. He was the picture you have just played. He's the one who exposed a lot of corruption in government. Then he says, so dishonestly, he's saying, we in 2022, we will have a poor person. Is William Ruto a poor person? You know, when we talk, sometimes it's good. I hope he bit his tongue and swallowed it. Because you can't call a rich person a poor person. It's not right. I'm sure he's poor in his heart, but he's very liquid. Everybody knows what he owns. What I want to encourage the president, I want to encourage him to realize that it is only him who can save this country, because he's in office, whichever way he got into office. Now we want to see action. And we don't want the courts to be compromised. I disagreed here last week, 7 days ago. I said, I don't agree that the courts can try somebody without bail. What if they find them innocent? It looks bad. It is not clinical.
All right.
You can't arrest people.
Okay. You were also in the 11th Parliament as well.
Yes, I was.
We had all these austerity measures, and we had also the public's lifestyle audit for the legislators. What really happened? Because what really happened?
There was never audit, but the wealth declaration. That's when the 10th Parliament. But I challenged. If you go back to the Hansard, I said, why ask me what I own and have the speaker keep it?
The
No,
Speaker?
the reason why I should declare my wealth is for the public. Declaration should be public. That was meant to fail. Remember when Kiraitu Murungi was the Minister for Justice and Constitutional Affairs? They are the ones who brought that law. But the law says the envelopes remain sealed once you declare your wealth. So how is it a declaration if it is a secret? They wanted to
Why did you go full steam ahead and challenge that particular law?
I did on the floor of the House.
What happened?
I was in the minority. You know, you must accept that when you're in the minority, the process goes that majority wins, even though I had my say. But I said that was how not to fight corruption. But now the president is making some very interesting pronouncement. He's saying, begin with me. Let us begin with him, because I don't even think he is clean. Let us begin with the president of Kenya and tell us so that we can begin anew as a people. But we cannot have a scenario where public officers are stealing from morning to evening. They don't even sleep because they're worshipping money. And it is money from the poor. We have to do something about it. And I am supporting the president.
All right, let's say from Marcelo, you think this time forth it's going to work out?
It better work out, because if anybody is trying to pull wool over our eyes, then the fury that will come after that, they will never be able to recover from it. Because I think we have a problem. We also have this obsession with technology, like that if-miss thing. There's an obsession with technology, and then I heard the president saying that he wants to get a lie detector. I think the president should stop being obsessed with technology and face facts that technology alone will not get us out of where we are.
But maybe the president is just expressing frustration that he's given all this institution, all this mandate, and still no one is working.
He should not just express frustration, he should take action. Because some of the people he himself has appointed should not be there. He should start by firing those people. Then that's the action that will show that he's actually very serious. Because Debarl, there's a thin line of difference between corruption and theft. You see, corruption is if this pen costs 20 shillings, and you are probably the vendor of this pen, and I'm procuring 1,000 pens for my department, and I collude with you and say, okay, this pen costs 20 shillings, but for me to give you this contract, you'll have to agree to give me 1 shilling out of every 20 that I give you. Then that's corruption. But then when we collude with you and make sure that this pen now costs 1,000 shillings, that is theft. And that's what's happening in Kenya. There's both corruption and there's theft. So we need to fight both of them. I'd say that lifestyle audits will catch people, yes, and we need to catch these people, but they're the small fry. The big fish, the ones that actually control budget making, and they pad it with the loot that they are going to take off with, they will not be caught, because when you do lifestyle audit on these people, they have lived large for so long that there's no change in their lifestyle. There's no change in the kind of money that runs through their accounts. There's no change in where they live. So when you do a lifestyle audit on these very, very, very wealthy, in quotes, these barons, you will not catch them. So lifestyle audit alone will not. To catch those ones, you have to look at the budget. Interrogate the budget completely. What is this for? What is this for? And where is it going? Because that's where the padding starts. You saw we were talking about the purchase of CT scans, for example.
Yes.
When we know the cost of a CT scan is about 45 million, and we've already paid 1.7 billion, we've already paid for the cost of the CT scans. Why are we paying another 6 billion?
In fact,
that's padded. That's padded. That's put there. This hii tutakula. Tuweke hapa hii tutakula. So, like I saw my brother saying that we want a self-made man. Who is not self-made? We want a self-made person to be president. Who is not self-made? Everybody is self-made. Everybody is self-made. Whoever you, because in Kenya, very few people have inherited wealth. Very few indeed have inherited wealth. This wealth declaration that we do now actually was constructed, formulated to fail. Because so, I've jotted down the wealth that I own. It's kept by the Speaker of the House. No Kenyan knows. So if I acquire some other magnificent property through dubious means, and it's not even in that declaration, the mwananchi doesn't know. If I were to declare this wealth publicly, so that mwananchi knows this is what Dr. Seli owns, then if I acquire something else fraudulently, the mwananchi will know. But if I acquire something else also legally, mwananchi will also know. So that thing of wealth declaration was crafted in such a way that it not to be effective at all. And I said here in the last time I was here, that one of our biggest problems was that some time after our independence, we say now public servants can trade with government. I think that's where the rain started beating us. Such that we have a very thin line between public servants and businessmen. So that you find public servants are also serious businessmen trading with the same government.
Thank you.
I think that's a big problem, and we need to face it if we want to end this corruption thing. As for the story of bloated wage bill,
before you go to the bloated wage bill, because I'm interested, because also looking at the front page of the Star this morning, if you may just pick up that from my laptop, we have 7 billion shillings lost in CT scans purchase. And I think also last week you said that this is a scandal in waiting. Already now we have a splash over there. That House Committee, citing Auditor General's report, says double tendering without Parliament's approval is to blame, and demands that the former CS, that is Cabinet Secretary Cleopa Mailu and CS Rutich, appear before it to clarify on the anomaly. And you're talking about the CT scan here. Maybe
I'm in that committee, so I don't want to discuss what the committee was, because it was public discussion. The media was there. I just said that the CT scan thing it doesn't look right. It's not right, because we know a good CT scan at the most will cost 45 million. So if you are buying 36 of them, 1.7 billion is enough. And that is what Rotich has already paid for. He has already paid that in the supplementary budget. So why we are budgeting 6 billion more, and then we are told it's to build the buildings where the CT scans will be housed, it's to blah, 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 blah. That's what I was saying. If we want to fight corruption, we start at budget making. Who is this who came up with this cost of 6 billion? You see, our budget is vendor driven. That if I'm a businessman interested in dealing with CT scans, I can sit down and connive and make sure that so much money is factored into the budget. I think so long as we're making a budget that's vendor driven, a budget that we allow these barons to pad with what they'll eat. And when we do lifestyle audit, we will not catch them because their lifestyle has not changed. They are the ones who have controlled the budget from independence up to now. So they are out there. Even if you did a lifestyle audit, they will tell you that what my apartments in London. No, I bought those ones in the 80s. You can't relate it to my importing sugar now.
Take it.
You know,
right.
You won't catch them on lifestyle.
Okay, let's say from our Tangias also, we are preparing our closing remarks very briefly.
I think we are back.
We're back to the briefing.
We are back to very briefly, Debarl. You know, but let me just say two quick things. First, you know, let's be clear from all the what you've aired there in those clips. One, poverty or being poor, Debarl, is not a qualification for you to be president of Kenya. Actually, when we got independence, our first motto was to fight poverty and ignorance, and the major drive that we have all stood behind is to ensure that we drive as many people out of poverty into self-sustenance. And so let's not seem to glorify poverty or being poor by saying that we are happy that we have so many poor people and we are going to also pick another poor person. I mean, poverty is nothing to be proud about. We want people to be self-capable. And then having said that, yes. You know, Debarl, and I want you to allow me to finish my,
okay.
Because you allowed everybody else.
Okay.
Even if I say something you don't like, or something that Jacob doesn't like, including Sally. What I'm saying, what I'm saying is very simple. That yes, you know, let's first be clear, as Jubilee, and I stand behind the president, my president, that this is time to fight corruption and fight it absolutely, to make sure that we get a completely new opening in life and a new chapter in life. And I believe when this fight now has been called to its highest core, all of us in Jubilee, all of us, and you saw when the president was speaking there in Mombasa, in his company was the deputy president, plus other leaders in Jubilee. And so I want to say fully, as a member of Jubilee and also as a serving senator, that the fight against corruption is embraced by all of us, not some of us. And so once we start this battle, one of the mistakes that will happen, especially from down under, is if anyone tries to bring an implicit or insinuated condemnation. That will not help us. And so that's what I'm saying, that the way we have gone should be the right way. By calling for lifestyle audit, I believe the president is right. And remember, this is what we said here. Let's have a lifestyle audit. Doesn't mean that once you're audited, the result to be 100% right will have to show that you have only 100 shillings in your pocket. That's not what it means. A lifestyle audit is show the sources of your income. If you are a member of parliament, yes, this is your income. If you have another side business called, splitting timber, show it. If you have another business where you have a shop, say I have this shop, show it. That equals to the kind of lifestyle that you live. So you know, the impression created is that if you have other means, and you know, this country is a capitalist nation. We are a democracy, but also a capitalist nation. We allow people to the liberty of mind and thought and enterprise to make as much as they can and give as much as they can when they have to. And so, you know, I just want to debunk this thing that is emerging, that it is a sin to be wealthy. It is not. I mean, actually, in this country, we have some of the most, endowed people. What we are saying in this fight against corruption is we do not want people to enrich themselves in the wrong way by looting public resources or by taking what does not belong to them. What we are saying is that policy and law which has been there, that has been abused right from the grassroots. You know, and I said it here in our last discussion, whether it is clerks, whether it's procurement officers, whether it is cashiers, whether it is PSs, whether it is cabinet secretaries, we have to bring people to book and make sure that if you are involved in stealing public resources, then you have to answer to the call and face the consequences.
Right.
That's the spirit.
Thank you. Waste of time, we need to wind up on this. Of course, this is a developing story. We shall discuss this next week, and also attend a reminder on what we have this morning as a breaking news. Of course, we're given to understand that the senator of Migori, Ben Oloch, has passed on. He passed, of course, at the Mpisha Hospital, and he was actually ailing from throat cancer. This is according to the family spokesperson. That is information that we are receiving this morning. And of course, we shall be giving you more details of this in the course of the day. And